Oke guys, kita sekarang lawan Italia di group stage. Jadi kita udah lolos dari babak qualifier lawan Paraguay dan Hong Kong. Sekarang kita masuk ke next stage yaitu babak group stage. Di sini tim-tim yang lolos dari qualifier itu masuk grup of four dan sekali lagi diambil top 2. Nah, di sini Indonesia gagal masuk top 2 jadi harus tersingkir. Oke, minggu pertama kita lawan Italia. Let's talk about Italy. Honestly, this team is really really strong. Bahkan waktu video ini direkam mereka masuk final udah lawan Spanyol. eh Finalnya belum dimainin, so but we'll see. Anywho, hmm, sebelum gue masuk ke match gue sendiri, gue mau ngebahas sedikit tentang matchnya di sini. Adrian jadi satu-satunya orang yang menang. I didn't see the match honestly, but yeah, kudos to him. Kalau dilihat dari timnya emang eh tim Adrian ini bisa dominasi lawannya banget ya. But he need to execute well as well. So yeah, it's a good thing. Dan di sini Jonathan Zain nggak lawannya nggak ada Pokemonnya ini karena sekali lagi 2 weeks in a row, well not 2 weeks in a row, 2 match week in a row dia gagal untuk tampil. Ya alasannya dia bilang dia pindahan rumah dan dia baru ngasih tahu itu kayak hari Jumat apa hari Sabtunya gitu, which is like uh, fair fair point tuh Pado, dia nggak mau. Maksudnya dia udah prep sekian seminggu, nggak ada respon dari Jonathan Zain sama sekali, dan tiba-tiba di last minute dia harus ganti. So, yeah, you don't have a chance. Actually, by the rules, Pado emang berhak untuk minta menang. So yeah, that's what happened. And then, like, gue juga agak apa ya istilahnya, ya, nggak menyayangkan lah si Jonathan Zain ini nggak bilang dari awal. Maksudnya kalau pindahan rumah dia sibuk, it's something suatu yang bisa lu bilang, gue minggu ini lagi sibuk, jangan mainin gue or whatever, you know. Not like just last minute say, I'm busy, sorry, I cannot just make a subs lah. I mean like, maksudnya di minggu sebelumnya dia udah kayak gini, dan dia kayak gini lagi gitu aja. So, yeah, really disappointing. Interesting take out. As we all know that ini ada dua tim yang agak-agak unorthodox, but Hafiz being Hafiz, you know, dia emang he knows what he's doing with his Pokemon. So kalau dia bawa tim orthodox, it means like cannot say anything because he knows what he's doing. And actually matchnya ini di stream langsung sama Marco, so kita bisa lihat. And it's actually a really close game, very close game. Like one misplay from Hafiz, it cost the game. But by any means, it's a really good game. Mistake can happen in anyone. So especially in the close game lawan high profile player kayak Marco juga, wajar lah kalau make one or two mistake di tim yang ibarat katanya apa ya, tim World Cup ini kan bukan tim yang kita persiapin dari lama, jadi emang satu dua hal tuh pasti kita nggak sefamiliar sama tim yang kalau kita main di turnamen yang kita udah main itu pakai tim itu sekian lama. Second team is, I need to talk about this. Ini match di stream sama Victory Road, so you can watch. I really don't know, man. I really don't know what this team actually. Aurorus, Heatran, Rillaboom, Zapdos, Suicune, Urem. This team just died to Xerneas, honestly. When you see that di game one dia bisa menang 1 poin itu karena crit. Jadi Xerneasnya udah boosted dan tiba-tiba Heatran crit, padahal kalau itu nggak crit, ya dia kalah honestly. So yeah, and it's really really weak to fighting. Cuma ada Zapdos, which is Zapdos juga bisa dihandle sama another Pokemon. Um, yeah, this is just batting overall. Honestly, I gotta say. I mean, like for fun it's okay. But if you kalau lu bawa ini ke turnamen yang kompetitif yang we need you to win, dan That's not the right team to bring, honestly. Too many weakness. Sama Zacian juga ini really got destroyed. Sama Zarnias, well, you just watch the match. You can see that gimana lawannya dominate the game. But yeah, okay. Enough about the team. Let's say talk about my opponent now. Kevin Salvedo, dia cukup aktif di online circuit belakangan dan dia cukup ada hasil di situ. So, gue mikir, oke, gue akan scout dia. And this is really interesting actually. Waktu gue scout dia di beberapa turnamen ada, jadi ada beberapa liga juga, ada turnamen juga, dan dia selalu pakai tim yang Spain, there you go. Dia selalu pakai tim yang ini, selalu pakai ini. So tim gua ini yang gue bawa di minggu lawan Italia ini is designed to counter this. And yeah, that's the problem, right? You can scout, you can counter, but suddenly you need to expect your opponent bring something else as well. Walaupun ini gue agak apa ya, bukan agak kaget sih, maksudnya agak di luar dugaan juga, karena dia selama banyak turnamen ada dia turnamen online, turnamen di liga lain, itu dia selalu pakai tim yang tadi, but suddenly dia ganti tim, which is flowchart gue jadi berubah. But yeah, it's fine. Karena tim gue ini juga, walaupun gue counter dia juga, gue nggak throw match, apa ya, bukan nggak throw match, masih bisa lah lawan Zarnias. Lawan tim kayak gini masih bisa. You'll see in the game later. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the team first. I end up with Zacian. Gue mungkin Zacian kan. Zacian, what kills Zacian? What kills that team? And I end up with this. For those who knows me, this team kayak sesuatu yang ini di luar, it really out of my play zone. Gue nggak pernah main tim hyper offense, dan gue nggak biasanya main tim, dan gue juga honestly gue nggak suka tim hyper offense. Bukannya nggak suka ya, cuman ya bukan playstyle gue lah. Tapi tim ini kalau lawan tim Zacian dia, it's like, ya bisa dibilang auto win. So I go with this. You can see it's really hyper offense. Ada Tailwind, ada Sunny Day. Sunny Day in case lawan bawa Politot Zacian, karena dia waktu itu dia juga ada varian Zacian yang dia bawa itu ganti jadi Politot juga, but mostly Zacian. Jadi yang Go Scout selama ini dia bawa Zacian either with Milotic atau with Politot. Pokoknya ada helping hand-nya dan ada waternya. Dan waktu match ini mau main, emang lagi zaman Zacian dikasih Rain karena Entei dan Groudon. So that's how Zacian team reacts. That's why I thought, okay, this guy make an adjustment to his team, so like he must be confident with his team and like he will bring that. But yeah, honestly, this is team really out of my comfort zone. But like I said before, minggu ini adalah minggu yang ngebuka mata gue tentang another aspect of VGC. Yang biasanya selama ini gue nggak pernah, bukan nggak pernah tahu ya, nggak pernah ngedalemin lah. Itu apparent banget di match gue nanti. You'll see in my point of view. And without further ado, okay, let's go to the match. Okay, so this is the team: Xerneas, Volcarona, Incineroar, Urshifu, Water, Rillaboom, Amoonguss. So I'm thinking, gue pengen ini ada pressure secepatnya. Jadi gue akan lead Calyrex, dan endgame gue adalah Nihilego. So karena ada Incineroar, gue lead Minxiao. Jadi gue bisa threaten close combat, knockout ke dia. Dan juga kalau dia Rillaboom, fake out gue bisa lebih cepat juga. And Entei in the back karena Entei juga deal with a lots of his team. Oke. Deal Bopi. Dan dia di sini lead Rillaboom Urshifu. Ya, oke. Di sini gue belum tahu item Urshifu-nya apa ya. Di sini kalau nggak salah gue fake out Astral Barrage, I think. It's a good lead for him. Karena dia di sini threaten gue langsung, dan gue harus make a play. Yeah, fake out Rillaboom, Astral Barrage seems pretty safe that turn. Oke, dan di sini gue tahu dia adalah stuck. Well, kayak gue bilang di awal, Calyrex gue ini bukan main hitter, itu lebih ke arah. Intinya plan gue adalah gue mau keep damage, poke a hole ke mereka, poke a hole ke tim dia, dan Entei sama siapa tuh? Entei Nihilego endgame. So I take one. Okay, that's good, right? So far so good. Dan di sini, oke, dia masuk. I think he plays Xerneas this turn. This team is hyper offense, so naturally fast. It's like when you play hyper offense, you want to hit the knockout, like basically trade the knockout. So you trade something for something. You know, like play safe. You cannot just play safe or whatever because that's not how hyper offense work. But you need to attack. And then perkara Pokemon lu mati atau enggak ya, at least you get something out of it. But Pokemon lu mostly mati. Kayak hyper offense is not a team for pivoting. Oke, di sini gue cross combat ke Rillaboom, because this is my chance to take out Rillaboom. Dan gue stay di sini ya. I don't really care if it's, like I said, I get knocked out, he get knocked out. It's basically a straight game. Dan di sini Xerneas Geomancy. Di otak gue it's fine, in my mind it's fine. Like so far so good. And this is like my first mistake comes. Kenapa so far so good juga buat gue? Karena I don't really mind Xerneas Geomancy karena Entei is always Entei and Nihilego in the back, and they both still healthy, and they both can take Xerneas. At least like 3 hit knocks out or 2 hit knocks out, I think. Yeah, basically bisa ada chance untuk take out Xerneas lah. Okay, now this is my mistake, right? This is the first thing. Gua nggak hafal karena ini bukan tim yang biasa gua mainin juga. I didn't know the cult. So yeah, my first mistake is this. I know that his key to surviving is the Amoonguss. So, in my mind, be it either protect Amoonguss or Rage Powder the Xerneas, karena Nihilego bisa aja threaten ke Flash Bomb ke Xerneas. But yeah, mostly I think kalau Amoonguss out, I'm winning, right? So, knowing it will attack, go feint, Xerneas substitute, which is doesn't really matter for me. Now, then this is where it happens. Ya, had I close combat, mungkin beda cerita. kalau gua close combat dia tadi emang sih resist, tapi gua ada step dan powernya jelas lebih besar dari feint. So if Mungus knocks out that turn, it change. But this is my mistake in game 1. Selain gua nggak tahu cup, itu lebih ke arah kayak kalau dia protect so what? Kayak tadi gue bilang gue nggak bisa main safe di sini. Ini kayak tadi kan gue main safe kan kayak oke, gue cover dia feint or whatever. Gue mikirnya tadi kalau misalnya dia protect, dia dapat free turn, but next turn so what gitu kan. Gue bisa close combat lagi, Min Xiao gue juga masih ada sash, dan Nihiligo gue juga bisa tahan Moonblast Xerneas. So yeah, I think my mistake is gue nggak agresif di sini. Selain karena gue nggak tahu cup ya. Like really, what can happen kalau misalnya see 3 hit knocks out. So what really what can happen kalau misalnya dia protect sekalipun? Nothing. Not really much can do. Tapi di sini ya gue harus take a setback gitu. Dan basically ini ngubah mindset gue in a way, bukan mindset ya apa ya, kayak tadi gue bilang ini ada something aspek baru yang gue gak biasa dalemin, which is the trading part. Karena gue biasa main safe, gue main safe dalam artian gue akan manuver sehingga lawan gue kepin gak bisa gerak, that's where I attack. Gue jarang main yang okay, you attack, I attack, you get some, I get more. Itu gue jarang main, but it's actually really interesting, bukan really interesting, really important thing to learn, karena that's another new aspect to Pokemon as well, dan itu penting juga untuk di apa ya, itu aspek dasar Pokemon juga gitu. Oke, si close combat should do enough. Dan ya, critical hit ke ini Nihilego tadi a bit unfortunate honestly, karena kalau dia bisa aja dia bangun dan dia break the sub on Xerneas. Dan next turn ada NT masuk. But yeah, basically the crit doesn't really matter karena I'm not supposed to be in that position. Kalau gue tadi close combat Meteor Beam ke Amoonguss. So yeah, that's one mistake that turns the game. That's how hyper offensive team works. Like you need to know when to attack, like, really, and you need to know what to do. And you stick room of errornya kecil. Ya, now Sacred Fire. Kenapa gue nggak Flare Blitz? Itu lebih ke arah kayak I'm not reducing my hit points. But yeah, this time it's useless. As you can see, it's already useless. Okay, we can fast forward. Basically, what happened now? Yeah, Moonblast Entei, then Min Xiao just not doing enough damage. So that's where I lose game 1. Game 2 is another thing. Basically, okay, game 2. Go make it. Okay, my mistake in game 1 is just like one mistake, right? So I get the game. But just like one mistake, I throw. For game 2, I think, okay, I'll go with the same plan. But he actually changed lead, which is a really good adjustment for him. And this is another game 2, my mistakes happen with you. Karena di sini gua overestimate bulknya Min Xiao. And again, I shouldn't play safe. This type of team is not where you play safe. Yeah, blah blah blah. Happen, normal happen, no focus happens, intimidate, grassy trade. Yeah, okay. Untuk yang sering main lawan Calyrex atau pakai Calyrex, kalau mungkin udah sering, Dan ini gue tahu ini juga setelah match ini ya, dan kayak abis match ini gue laddering pakai tim yang ini, just like get used to it. Dan kayak tadi gue bilang, learning another new aspect as well. Dan di sini gue tahu Minshew is actually a huge threat for the team. So this is what he do. At this point, I think Minshew can take it. Minshew can take, but yeah. That's where my mistake is, and that's just really not much I can do. Kenapa gue switch Entei ke Rillaboom is basically karena I just want Grassy Glide, kayak lebih a way to hit Xerneas first. That's it. Dan Rillaboom juga bisa tahan 16. Yes. I think Rillaboom bisa tahan 1 16. So that's pretty much over in game 2. Nothing much I can do after this, honestly. So what I should do in that turn 1, right? I should just attack, make a trade. Lu mau take out salah satu Pokemon gue, but it's okay. I get damage to you. And the next time I can, kalau dia knockout salah satu, gue bisa masukin Nihilego untuk threat another pressure. That's what I should do. Or I should did, actually. Itu juga setelah gue learn dari beberapa match gue di laddering after this. Jadi ya, I really, this thing really opened my eyes about the trading part of the game. Like, instead of make a read kalau lagi terdesak, you should like, the second resort is, okay, first obviously you need to play optimal, right? You need to play optimal, like you play safe, whatever your opponents do, you still get a upper hand. Second choice, kalau itu nggak bisa, it's not a read actually. You look for a trade. Yeah. Okay, I will lose this, but if I can get that, it's fine. And I can have another plan on the back. That's what you should do. Baru kalau itu nggak bisa, then you make it. So dan kalau typical team hyper offense itu from the beginning you need to think about trade. That's like, I'm not saying hyper offensive bad. Ada orang-orang yang emang spesialis di situ ya. I mean like it's their playstyle, and nothing wrong with that. It's like really hard playstyle to master. Karena tadi gue bilang room of error-nya itu kecil dan you need to make a precise play every turn. Trust me, it's harder than playing defensive. Gue nggak bilang diri gue defensive juga ya. I'm not really that defensive, tapi kayak more like reactive team. Kayak tim gue lebih milih untuk react ke lawan gue. Kayak if you see, kalau lo lihat match gue lawan Hong Kong sebelum ini, lawan Esmond, that's how I usually play. Really pivoting game bukan pivoting ya. Yang penting bukan pivoting ya. Yang penting gue bisa pin opponent gue untuk okay, whatever you do, you will lose something. And eventually you lose the game. Yeah. Not even to hit KO to Xerneas. So yeah, I guess in this position it's pretty much over. Kenapa Minshew di situ penting? Karena Incineroar. Tanpa Minshew nggak ada yang threat untuk knockout Incineroar langsung. Well, ada nih Nihilego, but still. Just one is not enough. Karena lo juga harus mikirin Xerneas. So yeah, pretty much from the turn 1, my position is already hard. This is just like prolonging the game, but the position is already tough. Like in this position, yeah, what can I do? Gue cuma bisa ngarep crit. Dan itu pun kalau Xerneasnya sub, gue udah berusaha. Incineroar di sini, Incineroar bisa parting saat. Is it just coming out? I'm actually not sure is it just coming or not, but yeah, basically can protect parting shot, or kalau beda sama bisa fake out or whatever, you know. Bisa threat. And that happens, and then they just moonblast the Calyrex. Pretty much not much I can do. I think in this turn, next turn gue masukin Rillaboom, gue fake out Xerneas, Meteor Beam ke Incineroar. I think that's just my last hope of play. But if you get Urshifu in the bag, then I'm doomed. Yeah. Maybe being Incineroar, I guess. Did I? Did I do? Maybe. And yeah, this is actually seals the game. Protect, bring in Rillaboom. I think I make a read at this turn untuk Sludge Bomb, but either way, Rillaboom got, sekalipun Rillaboom knockout pun, Incineroar comes in, another fake out pressure for him. So yeah. Really not much I can do. Really interesting. Ya, kayaknya dia masukin Incineroar. Let's make it fast forward. Oh, Urshifu. Okay, this even seals the game more. This even seals the game more because Urshifu lebih cepat dari Nihilego. Surging Strike knocks it out, obviously. And Xerneas tinggal Moonblast ke Rillaboom. And I cannot protect. So, basically dengan hilangnya Nihilego, hilang juga answer gue ke Xerneas. So I just do. At this time I already know how it is. Yeah. Next turn tinggal. Yeah, it's pretty much over, right? You know that, right? So. Okay. Special thanks for this week. Thank you buat Kevin, as always, dan Altwin. Mereka udah bantu gua banyak, termasuk mock battle. Jadi gua sama mereka latihan. Oke, lu pakai timnya Kevin Salveto, gue pakai tim yang Calyrex ini. Like, okay, what's the scenario and whatever. I'm really helpful, but yeah, I really appreciate the help, but unfortunately, I cannot convert it to the win because one is just different team anyway. But yeah, it's really eye-opening match for me, honestly. Ada apa ya? Lebih memperdalam pandangan gue tentang VGC lah. Okay, that's it. That's my match against Italy. I lost, but I really appreciate the game.